books and dump them outside.
Yeah, and they cost like a few hundreds of euros, and these books are amazing. It's anthropology, and some books are really touching. So basically, I met this neighbor. It turns out he's a professor of Amsterdam University. He's been teaching everywhere, all over the world, and he's so smart. And so, he shared the stories, and it's just like, you sometimes have to broaden your horizon. Now I'm very interested in anthropology, so this is the next thing I'm going to try check out.
No, did you know I used to study anthropology? Did I tell you that?
No,
No. Yeah,
I
that's what I did my university degree in. So yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to discover all of that yourself, and you should. But there's some really interesting kind of ways in which it kind of bleeds into the work we do when we think about some of the behaviors that we as recruiters like to do, and why is that, why do certain things happen in companies and stuff. So totally relevant to what we're up to. Very, very interesting. Also some very good science fiction that's based on like anthropological writings. So certain anthropologists have become like quite sci-fi with it, because science fiction is a good like place to experiment with anthropological ideas, right? Because you can just like change one or two rules, and then suddenly what happens if you change those rules, and what happens to a society if that happens. So I think a lot of science fiction or alien first contact is pretty much anthropological. It's like an attempt to understand how things work when rules change, so to say. So
I didn't know, Hanli. This is a fun fact, but this guy was one of the smartest I ever met. So now I know where it's coming from for you. So great, great
yeah,
stuff.
it's really interesting. It helps you think in many respects. So yeah, I don't regret doing anthropology at all. But anyway, we're live, everybody. Welcome to Brainfood Live on air, bringing it to you every Friday, no fail. It is episode 267, and we are going to give you a special today. You might have noticed the theme, by the way. Regular viewers would probably have realized that over the last 5 or 6 weeks or so, I've been like banging on about automation, AI, enablement, all that type of stuff. And it's just a general kind of a weak theme throughout it all. It wasn't really a truly designed thing, but I wanted to basically host conversations that would kind of encourage recruiters to really embrace artificial intelligence, embrace the moment, embrace automation. And not only because I think it's very interesting and it'll help be very productive and so on, but I think it also is quite important from an existential point of view. Like we have to be on the right side of this trend, because I think it would be a very bad thing to be on the other side of this trend, because it means that lots of things are going to be changing, and we want to be kind of being the ones that are in charge of that change rather than have that change happen to us. We're going to continue with this kind of mini series we've got today, and also next week we're going to continue with that as well. But today is particularly exciting because it's going to be real life use cases in recruitment automation, live demo from the CEOs of companies that are telling us this world is going to change. So it's like, okay, listen, I usually don't do demos on this show. However, the condition I had for the people who wanted the demos, look, it has to be the CEO. I don't care what level you've reached or whatever. It has to be the guy or the girl who's really at the top. You're going to come in, you're going to talk to us about this. And so we've got maybe 10 people are going to do it. So be prepared, folks. This might be a 90-minute show. But it's going to be a really interesting view as to what recruitment technology is coming to recruiters. And it's coming to recruiters now. And you'll see it in the next 6 months. If not the next 6 months, the next 12 months, this stuff will be mainstreamed in the tooling and the work that we do. So I wanted to use this as a demonstration and an example, and also an inspiration, so the recruiters can say, you know what, let's grab this and let's get going with it. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be a very exciting show, but nothing is more exciting than speaking to Alla Pavlova. So wonderful to see you, Alla. It seems that we've been hanging out a lot recently, so it's great. It's a real big tick in the box for 2024 for me. How have you been? How is life? Have you finished all of your travels and so on now? Because you've been busy as well with your journeys, haven't you? Oh, Ala, your audio is gone for some reason.
No, I was just muting myself. When I was listening to you, I was muted. Yeah, thank you so much for. I'm very excited to be here because I'm also all about practicing things and automation. And I actually showed my team recently in Shanghai that you can save up to 40 hours of your time per week for efficiency. And I'm specifically, especially very excited to be here because I've heard so many times that some of the work will be automated, and I really want it to happen. So bring it on, automate my sourcing, automate my scheduling. I'm not scared. Just give it to me.
That's really important message, folks. We're gonna see our jobs change and we have to embrace it. We have to start thinking, you know what, 30, 40, maybe 50% of the things you're doing in 2024, you will not be doing in 2025. What are those things? Let's make sure we tick the box and get rid. Okay, actually, I forgot to do sound checks, folks. So I just want to make sure audio is okay on Crowdcast. Is that okay, folks? Let me know in the chat whether that is fine. Can you hear and see me and Alla? Okay. Oh, we're also breaking records on LinkedIn Live, by the way. I've just checked how many people are live streaming this. We've got about 11 people live streaming this. I know it sounds like a small number, but usually we have like 2 or 3. And thank you, Juliana and Rob and Alex. I think they're always like restreaming. But now we've got loads of people doing it, including a couple of companies. So shout out to ScottyAI doing it, hackajob are doing it. I think Round.One are doing it. And Brain Trust are doing it as well. So that's awesome. What this means is that we're going live on LinkedIn Live on about a dozen channels out there. So lots of people should be seeing this conversation and these demos coming up. This is the sort of distribution that we're looking to achieve with this. So fantastic stuff. Okay, everyone can hear us okay. Let's get on with it. Alla, let's have a review of the newsletter. Did you read it last week? And if so, what was interesting about it?
Yeah, I actually thought that I had so many messages right now in the privates asking like, oh, when are we going to jump into the use cases, etc. So actually, people asking not to review the letters and to do the do the use cases straight away. So
we have to review the newsletter very briefly, Alla, but then we're going to get Shaurav on ASAP. So you're right, though. We have lots to squeeze in. But let's have a review first if you've got a chance.
Exactly. No, that's good. That's good. I was replying to the later. So let me see what was like. Yeah, sorry, I was listening to you. I was not dropping the latest news to the channel. So let me do that very quickly. In the meantime, to be honest, the most popular things that I'm reading right now, and actually I'm scrolling through the news and I'm going to the automation part and sourcing part. So this is where I spend the most of the time. So not sure how everyone is doing that right now, but this is where I am. I'm sorry, Han. I don't wanna anyone to wait for me. I'm just really looking.
Don't worry. There's no apologies happening on Brainfood. We all know this is a live show. People are just gonna have to roll with it. But no, that's all cool. I just want to make sure, by the way, the folks that wanted to demo, are you all here and can you hear me okay? Because it's quite important you're already sort of logged in and ready to go. Shurov, I think you're there. That's good. I do believe, is anybody else here? I think Mark is there. There's a lot of Marks. Yes. And Max is there as well. Great. Hopefully Jordan is there as well. Oh, by the way, if you are demoing, can you please like make sure you use your like real name on your account? Because basically I need to pick you out before I'm ready to go. Okay, cool. Listen, we've actually got Sharif here. I'm conscious of where he's at because I think he's in Melbourne right now. So I do believe it's like 11 o'clock for him. So I'm going to bring him on now, and maybe we can split in some of the newsletter stuff a bit later.
Exactly.
Okay, sure. Let's have a look. Where is he? I'm not even sure I'm getting his name right. I'm definitely not. But let's get him on, and I'll apologize to him in person. But he's got a really interesting tool, which I want everyone to, as soon as his colleague Mars, I think, pitched it to me, I thought, you know what, this is actually really interesting. But I'll let him explain what it is. I think it's him. I'm not even sure. I've never met this founder. So let's see whether he has got the message, or it should be a modal popping up on your screen, by the way. Oh, here we go. There he is.
Hello.
How are you doing, man?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine. Now,
lovely to meet you, Hung and Alla. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me here. Pleasure.
No, my pleasure. Firstly, let me apologize for this super late evening. It's Friday at, was it 11 o'clock for you? So I totally,
Uh,
feel really bad, man.
it's,
Um,
it's totally fine. Like you said, no apologies needed.
Actually, yeah, correct. I should follow my own advice. For sure. Can you quickly, firstly, how do you pronounce your name? Like, who are you? What it is you do? Have a quick overview as to the business that you're running right now, man.
Yeah, so first of all, you've pronounced my name pretty much bang on. It's Shurov, it's phonetic. That's an Indian name. I'm an Indian originally, but I live here in Australia. I've grown up here. I'm the CEO of a company called Pollenize. We do something pretty different, which I'm about to show you. And very, very happy to be here.
Yeah, and I love the overall kind of idea behind Pollenize. It's something about like games-based testing or something, isn't it? It's like, how would you describe it in a sentence?
Yeah, I'd go further than that, Hung. You know, we're talking about change here. This is something that's quite way out there, but I'm going to show you as well. It's something that we don't just talk about, but essentially we've turned hiring into a game, not just gamifying, but we've actually turned it into a game. Through that process, the candidate experience is completely different and actually very, very positive. And the organization and hirer experience is also actually a lot better. So that's what I'm going to show you right now.
Very interesting. Okay, let's go ahead. I think there's an icon at the bottom of your screen there, Shorov. If there's an arrow pointing up, if you share screen there, we should be able to see what you've got.
All right, great. Just bear with me 1 second.
I should say, by the way, I'm good. Go ahead. Yep.
Just checking
Okay,
you can see my screen.
Yep, we can see good.
All right. Well, thank you very much again for having me here. So as I said, I'll just give you a quick vision statement before I jump in and show you the platform and what we do. So we're Pollenize. Like I said, we've turned hiring into a game. Our tagline is play a game and get a job. That sounds very far-fetched. That sounds pretty wild, but it actually works. And not only that, like I said, it's starting to work to actually make things very different and better in some ways. So let me show you a demo. I think that's the best way to communicate what we're doing here. We've just launched this. What you're looking at is the homepage of our platform. In the last few weeks, since we've launched, a number of different brands have started building what we call game modules. And these are to bring candidates in and acquire them in different roles using our game approach. So to demo today, I'm actually going to jump into a module that we have built, and we've been using our own platform to hire. And we've built a game module for salespeople, and I'm going to use that to demo a game for you guys right now. So what you're looking at here is a game module built in our studio, in this case by us, but it could be built by our customers, of course, or our builders that are out there. And it's a series of games, and each of these games takes a player through a scenario and tests and develops a certain skill set. So this is about sales, and these scenarios actually follow a typical sales process in our organization. So researching prospects, doing some cold outreach, building some rapport, responding to objections, closing. These are all very, very common things for salespeople. We've built a bunch of scenarios, though, that are very customized to the way we do sales. And to show you how these games work, I'm going to jump into one of these games and give you the experience of a player, as we call them, or a candidate, so you can see how this works. So I've chosen this game here. It's called Build Rapport. And in this game, there's a scenario and there's a challenge, and I'm going to solve that. But let me just jump in. The first thing that I do, though, is I choose an AI opponent. And you'll see that the use of AI in here is quite unique for us. We actually use AI as a benchmark for your human performance, but you'll see that in a second. So let me just go ahead and choose one of these opponents. I think I have a couple of my favorites here. I'll choose Omar, and I hit play. And what's happening now, this is an emotional intelligence game, and I'm about to launch myself into what I call, or what we call, the game arena. This is where one Pollenize game plays out on our platform. Every game starts with a scenario. This is currently in text mode. So here's a scenario. As I said, it's a custom scenario that we've put together that immerses you into a sales process like the way we do it in our organization. And I'm in a meeting in this scenario, and I've got some sort of, things aren't going that well, perhaps, and I need to build a bit of rapport. So I've been given this challenge to solve. Now, again, this particular game is in text mode, so I now answer that challenge here. And this is where our players, our candidates, really spend some time, because as you'll see, if you don't apply your intelligence here, you don't actually get the scores that you want, and then therefore you don't unlock the opportunities that you want to get in the job role. So here, this is, people are spending 5-10 minutes on this, but I've got something here that I can cut and paste in. Our players can't cut and paste, so let me just go ahead and do that, and I'll give that a heading. So that's me putting in my best effort to answer this challenge, that scenario. And the next step that happens is that my AI opponent does the same thing. So this is what we call a benchmark, and this can be set by the customer, or it can be calibrated and actually generated from Gen AI as well. But this provides a benchmark for my performance. So there's now my answer, and there's this benchmark answer. And you'll see that what happens next is what we call our analysis phase. And this is essentially a analysis breakdown of each of our responses for the specific skills within the skill set of this game. Now, this skill set is called emotional intelligence. So the specific skills, these little squares here, are things like empathy, passion, transparency. These are not typically things that you're able to easily measure, but it's one of the unique features of what we're doing here is that we're actually getting quantitative scores here, as you can see on the left, about these skills, and they're all adding up at the bottom there. So you've got this high score mechanic. It's kind of it's typical battle type mechanic. I have it's gamified, and I get these polycoins, as we call them. And I'll show you in a sec that you'll then be able to use those to actually unlock rewards, such as job opportunities on our rewards marketplace. But this one game, I just wanted to pause for a second to talk a little bit about this analysis, because it is quite unique and an innovation that we're bringing to market here. And it's the power that AI gives us, that you can take these things like a free-form response from a player and actually analyze it in this way, and not just give scores, but also give feedback. So there's even learning in here as well. So I can really see, what did I do well at? Maybe I am good at empathy, maybe I'm not, but I'm immediately able to see that within this game. So this one game that I've shown here is the unit in our platform, which can be 100% customized. So it's fully customizable. You can change the scenario, you can change the challenge, you can have your completely different skill set, you can construct your own skill sets, and you can have different opponents. So this can go into sales, this can go into engineering, this can go into project management, and actually our early customers are pretty much taking it into all of those use cases inside organizations. But wherever it goes, the output of a game is always this one key metric that we have, which we call PIQ. And this is a ratio of my performance in the game versus the AI. So this PIQ is key because it normalizes human performance across all the different games and the different game modules. And that is where the real value starts to come in, because that means that the platform can start building these leaderboards. And these leaderboards show player performance within these customized scenarios in a really deep analysis that you can then browse through and start looking through. But more importantly, the top performers come to the top and they get what's called certified by winning all the games. And that's really where the value comes in, because it means you can start to scale this out, have hundreds or thousands of players come through, but you can really pay attention to the top few players. Now, as a player experience, when I get certified like this, I'm able to go to the rewards marketplace. And what I'm able to do is I'm able to unlock a job interview. And this is a really different experience for a candidate. They don't have that autonomy normally within it. They're usually waiting and things happen to them, but this is an opportunity for them to actually do something based on them being an elite performer. And it's really a really positive experience for candidates, but it's also positive for the hirer. So just to speak of my personal experience using our own platform this week, I put the module out on Monday. A bunch of people have been playing it during the week. I haven't done anything. I've just had 3 very elite candidates drop into my my calendar, and they were all pretty amazing, but I ended up hiring one of them. So I had this really hands-off, really positive. It was actually a really fun experience, like just watching how people are playing and then just waiting for those really great players to come through, because the game is producing that. So if I show you, some of the live leaderboards that have a lot more players, the ratio is that there is a number of players that's about 5% who are getting certified, and they're really those top performers. So you're getting elite performers coming through into your pipeline. And
all right, let me interrupt you now, Sharov.
Really scales out as well.
I got to step in.
Have just launched.
Sharov, I just got to step in. Basically, we'll carry on time.
Yes.
Folks, having just seen that overview, what do you think of Polynize as an idea? Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. If you're watching this anywhere on LinkedIn, love to get your thoughts there as well. Let's start a conversation on this. Sharov, let me just firstly congratulate you on what you've achieved so far. I do think this is extremely innovative. As someone who's had experience in playing games, 100%, I'm resonating with some of the experience and the user experience. We've got some great sort of commentary in the chat already. I think people who are in the digital space, very welcoming to this. And I think there's some clear moments of innovation in this, particularly how you can kind of create a kind of a currency for the candidates that they can then spend to unlock an interview. I think that was a great idea. And again, that's like very much resonant with how, achievement within game actually then translates into rewards in the game, which is fantastic stuff. So I think lots of people seem to be positive about this. Everyone seems to say it's an interesting thing. Quite early in the journey for you guys, is that right, Sharov? Like, where are you with it? You've got it live out there. People can use it right away, or where are you with the product right now?
Yeah, that's right. We've just launched, absolutely live with it. We've got some great couple of big companies and a lot of smaller ones who have already started using it. Absolutely free to anyone to go in and jump in. So if you do like what you see, please do go in and play. We have a full studio. It's like a YouTube studio where you could build a game and try it out. But you can also just jump into one of these, what we call featured or public modules, play a game if you want that candidate experience. The other thing that I could invite people to do is we're running our public featured games, and we're basically bringing the best talent out of that into what we call our Polynize Talent Network. So you can actually go through and start browsing here and looking at candidates. You can start looking at those skills like I showed you before. And the next things that are coming up are we're inviting people to come in and promote this talent or to access this talent and unlock this talent. So we'd also just love to hear from you. If you this is very different. As you said, it's early in the piece. It's potentially disruptive, and not necessarily everyone's gonna like this approach, but if you think it's something interesting, then we just love to hear from you. We really do like to just meet people who are aligned with us on this, because there's a bigger vision here as well, that we're looking to really roll this out into the global south. We want to bring a lot of untapped talent through this way, young talent, and just generate huge amounts of opportunity. So we'd love to hear from you if you align on that vision.
Can you share a link into the chat stream there, Sharov, the place that you want people to go to? I think people will really be interested to explore this. Number one, I think anybody who is into gaming would be totally into this. So there's no question that this resonates. All the visuals are going to be fine. It will be interesting to see how people who are distanced from this world, like let's say they've never played a game, how does that appear to them? I don't know. Theoretically, it should work, but maybe it will deter some other people. But I think you got to wait and see. I think it's great that we've seen something like this. Ala, you're a games player. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I was thinking like the talents, they have opportunity to customize things. They, especially software engineers and artists, they can create their characters there and be available for recruiters to find them. So, I mean, it got me excited very much. But maybe, sure, if is it okay for you, just to maybe to tell one or two cases how recruiters can use it, like because it's a use case. So, what is the problem or the challenge this could help solve us?
Yeah, for sure. And before I answer that, I will preface that by saying this is something we're also learning very rapidly. You know, as we deal with real experts in the talent industry. We come from tech and gaming and entertainment ourselves, so we're not claiming we're veterans like you guys. I think the first use cases are definitely where there's scale, where you're looking at thousands of candidates, where you're looking at grads, as you said, Hung, the younger cohort. Like the younger cohort essentially doesn't have anyone like what you said that doesn't have a gaming experience, and so for them this is a fit. And wherever there's scale, and especially when you're trying to get people in with some sort of threshold. So maybe you've got customer service, maybe 1,000 people to hire in India, maybe 10,000 to hire in India. There's really no solution to do that at scale without spending a huge amount of resources. And so that seems to be one of the places. There's another couple interesting ones more at the other end of the scale, like executive recruitment. Could you sort of deeply analyze people there? So these are the two that seem to be happening right now that we're excited about.
Nice
Brilliant
summary.
stuff,
Thank you so
Sharab.
much.
Listen, we've got to keep rolling forward. Thanks so much for staying up late and giving us this demo. Really exciting product. I'd love to know more about it. Folks, the link is in the chat stream on Crowdcast here. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, anywhere else, I'll try and get this link over to you as well. Go and sign up to it. Sharab, did I hear you correctly that basically anybody can sign up either as a candidate, or what if I'm a recruiter and I want to chuck a job in there? Is that something I'm able to do, or do I need to start paying you for that?
Look, you can actually, and you can get up to 5 candidates through. But a lot of the time people will come and book a demo with us because we'll show you how to do that. There's a bit of an art to it as well. But yeah, if you're a natural creator, absolutely jump into the studio. You can do that right now.
Give it a blast, folks. I want to give it a go myself. So this is fantastic. Sharab, wonderful to have you on the show. I'm actually going to be in Melbourne in October. So when I'm there, I'll drop you guys a line. I'd love to pop into the studio and have a look-see. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for coming onto the show and showing us the demo, man.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and I'll see you in Melbourne. We'll get face-to-face. Cheers.
Nice. Thank you. In the meantime, I found what I read for the last Brainfood newsletters, and I'm just going to drop it while you're inviting for the next presenter, if that's okay, Han?
Yeah, that's totally okay. I'm going to try and find Nikos here. Let's bring him on.
Please do. So for those who are listening to us right now, I looked into the newsletters from the last week, and I remember what I saved for myself is I love templates, and I love anything that can help me also to automate things. I just dropped the link and I see some people popping up. So this is ATS vendor evaluation scorecard. And with so many things happening right now, like different ATS, different vendors, different tools, AI tools, etc. So for me to find out the way to discuss something with the team and to choose and to do this course is hard. So this is one thing that I took from the last newsletters is this one.
And I just say that ATS vendor sort of selector, that was a really useful tool. Loads of people emailing me to say, "Hung, that was great." I need to give credit to Screenloop for doing it, and they actually didn't want any credit for it. They said, "Actually, don't mention the name," but I said, "Look, you produced it, so I might as well give it to you." But I think a useful tool. Obviously, they're in that game as well, and inevitably, you gotta use the tool with some critical analysis in mind. But we all need frameworks. So grab what you can from that, add your own stuff, and you got a tool you can use. We have Nikos here. Thank you very much for joining us, Nikos. Wonderful to see you as usual. I believe you're in Greece right now, right? It's a bit late in the afternoon for you, yeah?
Yes, always in Greece.
Yeah,
Thank
fantastic.
you so much for having me. It's great to see you again, man.
No, great to see you. I hope have you met Allah before? If not, say hello.
No, first time.
First time.
Okay, everybody knows you two because you're famous people in the world of recruiting. But why don't you introduce us real quick, Nikos? Who are you? What it is you do? And tell us a little bit about Workable.
Okay, I'm Nikos Moraitis. I'm the CEO of Workable. Workable is one of the most popular ATSs out there. And today, my plan was to show you on a fresh new account that anyone can get in 5 minutes, all the AI, or not all, but a lot of the AI features.
Amazing. I love to see it because the reason why I wanted you on the show, Nikos, is because you've been tweeting away saying, yeah, hey, we've got this AI stuff. And I'm thinking, all right, I need to see this. But I didn't get the time to get a private demo. So I thought, why not do a public demo? So thanks for coming on and being game for this, Nikos. Why don't you go ahead and share screen and we'll see what you've got for us.
Okay. Let me do this here. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Let me make more space. Okay, very good. So here's what you can see now. Workable on the screen, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so what I've done here to save us the sign up, I went and created a fresh account, signed up for an account on Workable. The company is called Aviato, so we don't need to do the account creation, but it is an account the same way you would get it on your first 5 minutes. It's an empty one.
Okay, so this is a company account, right? An employer account.
Yeah, you see, there's no employees, there's no jobs. I just got a fresh Workable account. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through making a job and finding candidates and doing outreach and seeing how the AI help us in specific steps. I'm going to focus on the AI parts. Okay, so let's make a new job. That's, if you're using Workable, that's your familiar job editor. I would, for this demo, I would do a head of talent acquisition. Okay, and let's do Boston because that's where American office is. Okay, now basically this is your usual create a job form where you do the ad. Here we have AI that is actually going to take the information it knows about the company and the job and all that stuff and go and write. I see it's written a nice job description. I think what I can do is also ask it to change the tone or edit specific parts and make it longer, make it shorter, rewrite it. I didn't like the way it's written. So by the way, 70% of our customers take the first generation.
That will go up to 80% and 90%. I think we're going to get to a point where we just like default accept the generation, right?
Yes, and now here I have a fresh account. It knows nothing about it. I just pasted a fake job description about an aviation company. Anyway, whatever, I can add some benefits. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Here, it will also, the other AI part that is interesting here is that it has a salary estimator, basically based on the location and the name of the job. And all the data we have from Workable, obviously, we have a lot of customers, a lot of offer letters, employees. We have a lot of data about this. It says, that I should put like between 90, I don't know, let's say 90K to 130, roughly speaking.
Okay, mega useful, obviously mega useful, guys. Yeah.
And by the way, there's a report which is called salary estimator. So basically it's a search page where you can go and do research for any job. You don't need to be going here. This is for convenience. So you also get the salary benchmark with AI based with a subscription of Workable. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on the career site, etc. Now, okay, I will mark this job as used internally. This means I don't want this to get posted to Indeed and LinkedIn and 100 job sites. So let's go back to, where was I? Find candidates. Now, there's another interesting bit of AI here. Now that it knows some things about the job, I can ask you to do some passive sourcing with me. If I click on it, it will essentially search through a specialized sourcing database that we have at Workable between our job site, our connections with other job sites, data sources, etc. And it would find some profiles that, like a, recruiter or sourcer would, that are relevant to the particular job. Let's see. It's going to start loading more over time. It's not going to be 3. It's probably going to be, usually it's like a few thousand. So it finds me some people who look relevant. Actually, I don't like the thing. Let me go back to the job. For some reason, I don't like the fact that it's 3. Yeah, usually has thousands available. Let's go to the job again. So basically, I'm in the source stage. It tells me again here the same thing. I can go and find candidates for you. Yeah. Sometimes the search is too, usually when you do the search, it will send you an email a few minutes later that I'm finished because it's thousands. Now we're seeing the live results. So yeah, okay, it finds me. These are actual people that we can reach out to. Actually, I'm going to pick up a few of them almost randomly here. I'm not going to evaluate them. And as you can see here, I'm going to add them to my source state. So basically, these are the recommendations by the Workable AI. Now this thing is going to put it in my pipeline. Okay. So, let's say we want to go back to our pipeline and reload it. Sorry. You see on the bottom right, it's adding these candidates and it's taking some time. I'll show you why it's taking some time, because it's also evaluating the detailed resumes now versus the job description. So let's see. Okay, this one he's done him already. Look at the other feature we have here. This thing here at the top of the screen. Basically,
summary or something?
The AI has read the job description that it wrote, by the way. It's another AI that wrote it. Has read the job description and has identified these things are what it thinks are not what the job requirements on the ad were, but what it thinks are the criteria by which we should be screening. And it has evaluated each incoming candidate versus this criteria. Now, you see some of them are done, some of them are not finished because this is a pipeline that goes on. But most of the times, what's going to happen to you is you're going to come in, there's going to be 100 people applied. It has read all the resumes. He has evaluated them versus which criteria it thinks they fit, and basically, makes your life very easy during the screening, because you can quickly see if some basic ones are missing or if the score is really low. And you can start from the people that seem to be a better fit. Now, let's say this Doug, we like this Doug. Okay. Now we're going to send him we're not, sorry, because it's a new account. It's not connected to my Gmail. Let's say we're not using Gmail. It doesn't affect it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the way that you would send an email with Workable to this guy. We're not going to actually send the poor guy an email, for sure. It can generate the email for the outreach with AI. Now, we'll see what it does, but you'll notice that it introduces me. It knows who I am. He talks about the specific experience from the resume. It's a highly personalized email. Another thing. So basically, if you think about it, what did I do? I made a job. I've already found a bunch of useful candidates. I can always quickly screen them. If it was an actual job, tomorrow you will start getting applications from LinkedIn and Indeed, and they will all be screened with a screening assistant. And whoever I want, I can go. Let's close it so that we don't send this guy an email. And actually, even do the outreach with them. Let's go a step further. I'm going here to the place where we configure the job. Let's go to workflow, where I have all my pipeline stages. Let's say that I want to add an interview stage, and I want to add a video interview. And here I can even have the AI basically generate the entire interview. That's the welcome email. Thank you, please come to your interview. And here are the actual interview questions that they have generated. Similarly, it can produce your scorecard, which is like the interview questions you want to ask. So
okay,
this is on any Workable account. Let me show you, if you have a minute, let me show you on the back of those. This feature that I showed you where we generate AI job description, right now, almost 30% of the jobs created in Workable are with AI. Most of the time, this 70% pretty much means it was good enough. Okay, and for some unexplained reason, they have better application rate, much better, 62% more candidates they get from job boards. I do not claim here that we have some magic, we don't know, but for some reason, I don't know, maybe they're across the board better written. I don't know what it is, but
okay, that's really interesting, Nikos. What you're
yeah.
saying is that the applicant rate for AI generated job ads is superior to a human written one. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you take a set of a few thousand jobs without AI, and let's say they have an average of 100 candidates, and you take another set with jobs written by AI, controlling for similarity, like not jobs with different types of profession, they will have 162. I honestly, I wish I could tell you we have a magic thing at Workable and we do it. Perhaps it's just because they're neater, they're better prepared, they contain the right keywords. I don't know what it is, but generally, this simple feature I showed you seems to be extremely effective. That's all I'm saying. Already, people are using it. They're finding satisfactory and they're getting better results. So I can only see it growing. Now, the other thing, the email again that I just showed you. This is the thing I just showed you where he writes an email. This is comparison of response rates between template emails, because many people use them, human personalization, somebody actually like spending the time to do highly personalized email, and the AI written ones as well. So
Oh,
give and
come
pick.
on. I'm just
I am.
specializing, so much in it's so painful to see that. So my pronunciation and my efforts are actually less appreciated. I think maybe AI applying to your jobs. Could it be possible so that you AI writes and reapplies for the jobs?
I bet it's going to happen, or it's already happening.
You know what?
And
That's really interesting, Nikos. I mean, the message is clear. I mean, there's big chunks of the recruiter's job are just being chopped away here by technology. Wonderful to see this innovation from Workable. Well done to you and the product team. I think that's going to be fascinating. Again, folks, you're a recruiter. You're going to have to love these types of tools. It's going to take away huge parts of the work that you need to do. Have a think about where you're going to put the human premium within that recruitment process. All of the things that you say you care about, candidate experience, inclusion, diversity, employee experience, onboarding, all of those things. Come on, you've got to move your work, your body of work into those places. It's not into the sourcing or the job ad distribution, interview, even the interview side. All of that's moving away. Okay, Nikos, we're going to have to move on real quick. I hope that's okay. Stay on the call. Make sure you have interaction with the rest of the people. Loads of people watching this. So we'll bring you on great to see you, and we'll have a chat with you in the chat, mate.
Thank you so much. I'm posting the link to the video in the chat.
Great stuff, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cool. Wonderful to see. Yeah, absolutely wonderful to see. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm just excited by this. We're going to just keep rattling through because we're already sort of out of time, so to say. We're running well over. The truth is, each one of these demos could take easily the full hour, but we're going to blast through as fast as we can. We're going to bring on Sam Dissy here. Sam, he's now become a familiar face to Brainfood live viewers, because this must be the third time I think you've been on the show for last month. But great to see you, Sam. I know you're on a deadline, so can you quickly introduce yourself, who you, what it is you do, and then just jump straight in?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Hung. It's good to be here again. Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Dessy. I'm the founder and CEO of Pop. We're a fairly early stage company. We're about 13 months old. So pretty young in terms of timelines, but we've made a lot of progress since then. And we are building a digital recruiter that plugs into recruitment teams and is able to get the same output for 50% less people. And that allows, number one, better margins, but it also allows redistribution of team members to more complex tasks or to new business. And we're already seeing that across several enterprise partners. So very happy to be here, Hung. Let's get rolling. Is this the cue where I jump into the
Oh yeah,
The
sorry.
Yeah,
I
share
was
the
just
screen.
assuming. I was assuming you were already on it, but yeah, get cracking, Sam.
All right.
Oh, by the
Okay.
way, the website I think is Join Pop, isn't it? Let me just check.
It's Join Pop, and Pop's got 2 P's at the end. .com.
Yeah, joinpop.com. Here you go. I'm gonna check it in the chat here. Go check it out. I think it's a really exciting tool.
So I'm just
Yeah,
going to give
go ahead.
a bit more context about the product, and then I'll jump in. So essentially, Pop is like an AI brain for any ATS or CRM, and it works in the background. So we provide your team with a backend where they can log in and they can create automations, they can create workflows, but essentially it gives your database, your system of record, intelligence. And that's great when, you know, we're working with enterprises and they're using, you know, some of these old school ATS systems that, you know, are only designed to track candidates through the pipe and nothing else. You know, there's no bells and whistles. There's no kind of additional kind of, you know, automations and AI tooling that they've brought in, but we fill those gaps. And our product is built in a modular way. So if you do have some stuff, then, you know, we're actually able to bring in other intelligence, other automations and other parts of the funnel that will complement what you already have. And the cool thing is it just works in the background and you can just stay in, you know, the system that you're used to using. So let's jump into the back end of Pop. So I'm going to show you exactly kind of how it works, how some of it works. Obviously, it's going to be pretty difficult to go through the whole thing. So I'm just going to share our analysis module to begin with. So we can see that? Okay, wonderful. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is a live role that is actually live in an ATS right now. But obviously this is the Pop platform. And what Pop has done has extracted the information about this role. It's extracted and painted a picture of what we believe to be the ideal candidate based on all of the information we have about the job. And it's now also automatically pulling in candidate data, so candidates that have either applied or have been associated to this role, and deeply matching them. We don't use keywords. We don't use a restricted kind of taxonomy. We use language models to perform this match. And we do it in a way that's responsible and ethical. And I can talk about that in a second. But let's have a look at some of this output here. So basically everything you see on screen here, all of the output, all of the results, they're being recorded in real time in the actual ATS itself. But this is the kind of the back end of Pop. This is where all the kind of magic is happening. So let's have a look at Ava here. Ava has scored 57% for this particular role. She's been automatically shortlisted. Now, if I click on Ava's account here, Ava's profile here, the first thing I can see is all of the requirements that we automatically extracted from the job description. Okay, these, you do have an opportunity to enrich this data if you want to, but we've actually used AI to extract it. It's very accurate. And we've actually listed out all of the requirements that make the perfect candidate from the job description itself. And we've got, let's say, 15 or so requirements here. The next thing you can see is whether the requirement has been not met or whether it has been met. And crucially, there is a justification as to why we believe the requirement is met or not met. And that's really important when it comes to applying AI in recruitment. We need to be as transparent and as explainable as possible. That's outlined in the EU AI regulations and regulations elsewhere in the world as well. And we allow you to do that. So this small text here, just below each and every requirement, is the justification. Now, again, you don't need to be looking at this. You know, you can actually just be in your ATS. And once this automation is set up in the background, you know, it takes a few minutes. Then, you know, you can just be in your ATS and watching candidates kind of move into different categories and various things happen automatically, completely hands off. But I'm just showing you kind of how our system is thinking in the background. The other cool thing is none of these requirements have been matched using keywords, as I was mentioning earlier. And a great example of this is if we have a look at this this requirement here. So the candidate should have experience managing relationships with metering agents and suppliers. Well, actually, we've said that this requirement has been met. And the reason it's been met is because this candidate sourced products from 100 plus marginalized female vendors in rural India and optimized the personalized gifting business model to increase sales by 120%. Now, if this was a keyword matching algorithm, it would completely miss that. If it was a tired and overworked human, it would also completely miss the fact that there is a relationship there between the requirement and the context with which we found in the candidate CV. But Pop is able to pick it up, and it's able to pick it up in a fraction of a second across multiple requirements. And therefore, we're able to surface candidates that are more relevant, faster, with less bias, more accuracy, and more consistency with just a human-only team. So the other thing we can do, of course, is if we have a look at those that haven't met the mandatory requirements, let's go into, let's say, Mia here. So Mia scored 35%. She's been rejected in this case. And what we've done is actually automatically generated a hyper-personalized email for Mia. And so this is something that can go out automatically to candidates. It's giving constructive feedback. It's been worded very carefully to say that we can only base our decisions at this point based on the information that we have been given by the candidate. And it's a really nicely worded email where we've laid out to Mia, what she can improve going forward, where we thought there was some deficiency. And this provides an amazing candidate experience. It also means that nobody is ghosted throughout the process. Everybody gets some kind of touch point. And candidates are absolutely loving this part of the product, as well as the recruiters that are using it. So that's the first part of the product. The other cool thing, of course, here is like you will learn more stuff about the role. And what happens, let's say, if you want to, make the requirements more strict, well, you just head over to edit rules. All of these rules can be saved as a template, by the way. So you don't only ever have to, if you have a set kind of set requirements that you use for particular types of role, you can save them in Pop, and it's just one click away. So one of the things that we could do, for example, is increase the stringency of some of these requirements. You can also change the automations that we've created for this particular type of role. If I just hit save rules here, that's going to change everything in real time. So hit save, and we'll start to see some of these requirements change. We can see only now one candidate meets the mandatory criteria. So you can change things on the fly as you learn more stuff about the role. Now, one thing that you'll also notice is that David here has a weird little chat icon, right? And that's because we set up an automation to trigger any candidate who has been shortlisted to actually be reached out to. And the outreach is happening with another part of our product, another module called Pop Conversations. And so what's happened is David has been reached out to. If I click on this little icon here, we can actually see this outreach to David, right? So he was shortlisted, and now we're actually able to engage with David using our conversational AI. And we can do a number of things here. So we've actually reached out to David here on WhatsApp automatically. We've welcomed him. We thanked him for applying to the role. We've congratulated him for moving to the next stage. We've asked him if he's got any questions, and we're going to actually start taking him through some pre-screening questions as well. And these conversations, the capability here is actually really advanced. Not only can we do all of the above that I just mentioned, asking questions, answering questions, we can also collect documentation. We can verify documentation with computer vision. We can map particular, bits of information to properties in the ATS. It's completely hands-off. So once you've set this up, Pop is going to be working in the background, screening candidates, engaging candidates, collecting information, updating the ATS, and driving them forward to the first human interaction. So I can actually go into perhaps a more advanced conversation. So here's one, and you can see, we're interacting with Andrew here. We've reached out, thanking him for his application. We've jumped into some questions. We've asked him for some documentation. He's uploaded the wrong document. We asked him for a passport. He's uploaded the wrong document, and we said, that looks like the wrong document. Can you please upload your UK passport? And then he said, I can't right now. Can you remind me? We said, we responded to that. He's asked some questions. He's changed into French. Just to test out, we have a lot of customers in demos that really want to kick the tires of our conversational AI. He switched to French. we've said, do you want to continue the conversation in French? He said, we, and we've continued the conversation in French. And POP actually supports more than 50 different languages. So it doesn't matter where our customers are in the world, we can support them. And finally,
all right, just stop Chuck there. That's a really interesting feature, and it's a real globalizing feature. Let's remember, lots of people are potentially using second language, if not sort of third and fourth. And when you're dealing with interview logistics and stuff like this, then that's not that important in terms of your language level for that purpose. Let's get these people through that experience as fast as possible. So brilliant stuff, Sam. Really like it. Well, we've seen it before, folks. Again, I mean, once you've seen sort of technology of this type, it just becomes evident that a lot of the time that we're spending or have spent in the activity of recruitment needs to be reshifted and moved around. I'll be interested to know, Sam, before we let you go, what sort of, like, where are recruiters going? Like, where are they spending their time? Have you got any early insight as to, with regards to the time you're saving these folks, what are they then doing with that excess time?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually seen in one of the largest staffing kind of companies in the world that we're doing a lot of work with, that they've actually relinquished, they've been able to liberate an entire day of their week by using POP, right? And with that extra 20% of the time, they're able to have more conversations with candidates who are at the bottom of the funnel, right? That have gone through that screening process, they've been qualified properly, and actually now they're able to build more meaningful relationships with them. And that is the work that people want to be doing. So, we are actually beginning to achieve the kind of nirvana of recruitment that we're hoping to.
Fantastic stuff. And how do people get to know a bit more? I mean, they've got to sign up for a demo or something, don't they? There's no free trial or anything like that. You straight in with like, okay, demo and then buy. Is that the pro forma with POP right now, Sam?
Yeah, I think the kinds of customers we're working with are kind of slightly larger, more complex kind of enterprises, corporations. And therefore, we like to have a closer working relationship with them, a longer term, closer working relationship. So, you can find out more on the website, joinpop.com. That's POP with 2 P's. You can sign up for a demo, and I'll be the one conducting demos. So, hope to see some of you soon.
There you go, folks. Get a personalized demo from Sam Desi. It's probably something worth having. Anna, sorry, interrupted. Go ahead.
No. Quick question: if it's possible to read a little bit about the way how you train AI to use any open source or anything like that. So, is this information available actually?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really transparent about the way that our systems work. In fact, we publicly publish performance data around fairness, consistency, bias, the kinds of models we use publicly.
That's interesting read for the newsletters, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's obviously going to be, some risk of kind of, litigation. It's AI is a high risk application in recruitment. But we are one of the few companies on earth that have you covered. We take it extremely seriously. We measure absolutely everything. We publicly publish it.
Yeah, please drop the links, because that's going to be very interesting to read, to be honest, especially on the bias side. If you have so much data, it's very valuable for those who are still, hesitant on using AI and everything.
No problem
Thank you.
at all. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Sam, listen, we've got to let you go. Great to see you, man.
Great to see you too. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
There's
interesting conversation going on, on the chat as well, like about legislation and about open source, and also I see that so we are getting more and more into details, like on the regulation side as well.
Okay, if people are interested in regulation, I'm going to be doing a EU AI Act. What are the implications for vendors, users, and what have you of recruitment tech? So that's happening in September. So make sure you sign up for it. I've just shared the link there. It's episode 277. That's how far I'm planning in advance. I'm anticipating I'm going to stay alive for another 10 episodes. And we'll be able to see it there. So make sure you sign up for it. I've already got I think the head of legal from Randstad's joining. I've got an AI policy analyst from Smart Recruiters. They're joining. I've got a bunch of people from Text
Nice.
Kernel that are also joining as well. That is a show you should sign up for. Okay, let's keep rolling forward. We're going to bring on, who do we bring on? I forget even who it should be. I think it's Max Armbruster. Let's have a look. Where is he?
Yeah, he was very active on the comment side. But by the way, I did my due as a co-host. I put some links for the newsletters in the chat. So the most important is, I think, the AI summer.
Yeah, just the AI summer was a great post. Yeah, that was a great post. And Glenn Cathy's a hero, obviously, but he isn't Glenn Cathy. It is I forget his name, but yeah, somebody on the legal side. Okay, there he is Max Armbruster. Marks, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great, man. Good to see you as always, Max. We're going to rattle on through. So can you tell us who you are and what it is you do, Max?
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Great to meet y'all. I'm the founder and CEO of TalkPush. We do high volume recruitment automation. We've been around for 10 years. Work with big companies like McDonald's, Accenture, Walmart, big guys, and we've launched a new product which actually could also be used by the small guys recently, because we've been very excited about applying our core expertise in conversational AI to voice, and we've made a number of announcements on this topic, and there's more to come. So we're excited to show a product today that can interview humans on the phone with a very human-like experience, and that uses the latest in generative AI to have a conversation which feels natural. So that's it in a nutshell.
Scary.
Exciting shit.
I don't know
and
why,
by
but
the way,
it's scary.
It is. I tell you what, we've seen a lot of the dashboard stuff, what's happening in the efficiencies in terms of, screening candidates, assessing candidates, doing interviews and feedback and stuff. But what is the outreach aspect? Has AI got into that aspect of it, outreaching to candidates? Looks like we have something. I know something about this because I've been demoed on this before, but Max, let's see what it is. What are you going to show us?
Well, it has been on your show before with, we'll share the link afterwards with the zookeeper interview, where Hung was interviewed for a zookeeper position, which was his decision. And this time around, I thought I would get a little bit ahead of you, and I would ask Sam to interview you for a different type of position. So,
I'm getting interviewed. Okay, great.
Yeah, are you ready? You got your phone ready?
I have my phone here, so
okay. So I'm gonna show. Can I show my screen just to show everybody what I'm doing first? How do I do this?
Yeah. It's close to the button to mute yourself or the camera. So there's a button share something. Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Okay. Entire screen, no secrets. Let's go. So I'm going to add you as a candidate here. I've got your resume, Hung. Don't ask me how, but I have it somewhere in here. And
document. All of those.
Any AI can create your.
Yeah. All of my resumes were destroyed before the internet actually emerged.
So before this call, I asked GPT, what would you do in a post-recruitment world? And I said, we live in a world where there's universal basic income and there's no more recruitment. So what will Hung Lee do in that world? It came up with a bunch of ideas here, including the digital consciousness curator. So I went with that. I asked the AI for a job description, and you will be now interviewed by Sam for the position of digital consciousness curator. Do you want to read the job description? Well, actually, let's not read the job description. That's too easy.
I don't read it. Let's
just
go.
Start the call, and you can ask the AI what the job is.
That's it. So I need to put this on speakerphone, right?
Ideally, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I didn't check the accent. I know you prefer to talk to a UK accent. I didn't pay.
I don't mind.
You don't mind? I can still change
the last
it
guy was American, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right. We're waiting for a call, right?
Yeah, it should come imminently. Let me just check. Oh, yeah. Here. trigger call. I haven't triggered the call. I'm triggering it now, so expect it in the next 10 seconds. And fingers crossed, you know. So I think
here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Hi. Yes, you are. Hi.
Hi, Hong. I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak with you. I'm calling you because you applied for the Digital Consciousness Curator position at TalkPush. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Do you remember applying for the position? Would you like me to refresh your memory about the role, or do you have any questions about it?
Yeah, like firstly, like how much does it pay, and compared to how much effort do I need to put in?
I can't provide specific salary details during this call, but I assure you that we offer a competitive salary along with performance-based bonuses.
Okay.
As for the asset you need to put in, I recommend discussing that with a human recruiter later for more detailed information.
Okay.
If you have any other questions related to the role or the company, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'd like to take a few minutes to learn more about you.
Sure.
Do you have a few minutes to continue our conversation?
I've got approximately 5 minutes, so yeah.
Great. Before we proceed, I want to inform you that this conversation will be recorded for recruitment purposes and to analyze the information. Do I have your consent to continue?
Yep, no problem.
Thank you. Have you ever worked for TalkPush before?
No.
Noted. Can you share your experience in managing the integration of clients' memories, consciousness streams, and personality traits into digital personas?
I've got vast experience of this in my dreams. So whenever I close my eyes, this is what I dream about. And I've just mentally trained myself to be expert at these as yet undone activities, because no one's actually done them.
Understood. How do you plan to bridge the gap in your experience with virtual reality and AI technologies mentioned in the job description?
I'm just going to charge right in. So day one, I'm going to just plug into the matrix and will not unplug until I master the job.
Perfect. You have a proactive approach. You have a background in social anthropology and significant experience in recruitment. How do you plan to transition to a role focused on digital consciousness and synthetic environments?
I actually have no idea. I'm going to get a neural implant. That's, I'm going to be signing up for that program.
Noted. Could you provide more details on your experience with ethical considerations and privacy concerns, especially in the realm of digital lives?
Yeah, I'm actually against privacy. I don't believe in it. I think it's just generally propaganda. So yeah, I have no issue with this.
Understood. Can you describe your experience with community building in virtual environments or digital spaces?
Okay, listen, I've got to go because time is short. Thank you very much, Sam. But I'm going to hang up the phone right now. Okay, please let me know how I've done in my application, by the way. How am I going to find out about this?
Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. A human recruiter will reach out as soon as we have news about your application. I wish you the best of luck in your job search.
Okay.
Have a great day. Great.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's fine. Interviewed. Let me know how I get on, But all right, very interesting, man. Sort of quick one before we let you go, Max. Those questions were basically generated by AI, correct? So I was basically picking up from the resume that you had, and it's basically how compatible it is to the job that was created.
Yeah, I literally just uploaded that job description a few minutes before you put me on air, and yeah, I had nothing to do with it. In reality, most recruiters are not willing to let go of that level of control. They want to be able to ask the questions that they want to ask. So we've added the feature where you can overwrite the questions. And so you may ask yourself the question like, if I'm writing the question, deciding the question, what's the point of the AI? Well, the AI can still do a lot of things, like ask the candidate to please answer better. Give me an example. The AI can also answer questions on your behalf. So it's even if you write the interview script the way you want it, there's still tons of benefits to activating the AI. And so yeah, there you go. I would like to, if time allows, just share my screen real quick to show you how you did on your interview.
Yeah, if there's the way in which you can see it.
Yeah,
Instant
it's
feedback.
right there.
How does it score? Yeah, very interesting.
How did I do?
How well do you think Hung did on the interview?
I think he didn't pass. He didn't pass. No way.
I think he's a silver medalist. On this.
So yeah, 1 out of 5 is no bueno.
No, that's disastrous.
Significant gaps. You get the same result as you get on the zookeeper job.
It's not suitable. Not suitable for this.
The communication style less than professional. I mean, I've noticed that a few times about you. Yeah.
I think I've had it in this AI enabled world. I think there's no way I'm making it further forward. Okay, Max, before I let you go, how do people actually interact with this product? Is there a way they can sign up or get some demos on it or what?
Yeah, this platform is available for use for free. You just go to talktosam.ai. I'll put the URL here, and anybody who wants to get on there and sign up, they'll be able to have Sam do interviews on their behalf within 5 minutes, and it's
Wow.
it's free to use.
Free to use, folks. Talktosam.ai. Get on it. Just experiment. Send it on a job. See what happens. It's worth experimenting with. Okay, brilliant stuff, Max. Let's catch you later. We're gonna keep rolling forward. Okay, nothing. Jordan, I'm gonna bring you on now. I know you've been waiting, folks who are still waiting to demo. Please bear with us. I know it's like we're a little bit over time, but I did anticipate we might be 90 minutes on this one. But here we go. Let's see if we can get 5 minutes out of Jordan. Yeah, it is really cool.
Really cool. It's really, really interesting. So not that scary as I was thinking, but it's actually could be super helpful on the things like interns, for example. When you have so many calls with interns and you have very basic questions like, hey, do you have permission? Do you have time? Like, can you work 20 hours? Can you do this and that? So I think that's for scaling for sure.
Yeah, for sure. This is happening. Voice outreach. I didn't think it would happen, but I think it will. This is going to happen. Jordan, great to see you. Listen, I know you're on a deadline, so I don't want to do too much chit chat. Quickly introduce yourself, who you are, what it is you do, and then let's have a look at the demo, man.
Yeah, cool. Good to see you both. Jordan Shlosberg, founded a business in a totally different industry, now looking at recruitment. And we're building Atlas, which essentially is an end-to-end platform, which uses AI in every little feature to try and get rid of all of the low-value tasks so that recruiters can focus on the stuff they enjoy doing. So I'm going to take you to a small slice of the product, which I think is interesting. And so I'll share my screen now. Video, okay. I don't want to share a video. That would be the wrong thing to do. Share a screen. Okay. Great. I should be sharing us, and now I'm sharing the platform. Can you see the Atlas platform in front of you?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so here is a lady I received a resume from, Amy Ingram. The idea, as I said, is let's just get rid of all of the low-value work that you would usually do. So she sent me a resume via email. That resume has already come onto Atlas. It's already read the resume and it's already enriched that resume for me. So it already read just from the words Tinder, this is the company that she works at. It's figured out, I mean, even that, it's figured that out, which is interesting. It's figured out what function she holds, what seniority she holds. It's even noticed, as you can imagine, that a data analyst you wouldn't think is a manager, but because it can see that she's managed people, it's tagged her as a manager. And this is great because now if I'm going to my system and I'm thinking, God, I really wouldn't mind to find someone in the dating industry, I can search that immediately. So all of the tagging, all of it is done for you. So let's get deeper. You have a conversation with her, an interview. And again, we are the only platform where the interview note taker is totally and natively integrated into the platform. So you can see here is the interview, here is all the notes. I haven't touched the keyboard just quite yet. And what's quite nice is it knows that there are some things that are quite important for a candidate. I didn't have to write any of this. Again, because Atlas sits on all of my communication stack, everything that I say here, read or write, it knows, and it will try and do the work for me. So it knows that salary is important. So it's figured out where she's mentioned her salary. It knows the notice period is important. It knows what she's looking for is important. It knows what she doesn't want. So from here, I can query as much as I want. So I can ask things like, what's her experience with SQL? And it's going to give me a full response. So it's almost like an OpenAI for every single person in your database. I can ask it anything from how an interview process went, her experience, and it's going to take everything from everything. And then the final thing I'm going to show you before I jump right off is because, as a recruiter, you're going to interview candidates, you're going to find the best ones. And this is for the agency side. You're probably going to write a report for your client. So we're now into a report. Everything looks quite similar. First thing I might want to do is paste her resume, but I don't really want to spend all of that time editing and standardizing everything. So I just whack this button here and immediately it's pulled the whole resume and it's put it into standard format. Then I might want to make a little overview. Oops, I should probably spell it properly. And I might ask Atlas, putting her forward for a senior data role, which is SQL heavy, provide me an opening paragraph. I mean, it's a pretty loose prompt, but why not? Fantastic. So I can just copy that and paste that. And I'm never the believer that AI is the perfect writer. That's why the idea is that you can then just edit the first draft. And perhaps I ask her, about a big mistake that she made, and I want to really bring that out to show her resilience. But I just can't quite remember what she said. So I'll kind of say, remind me about her biggest professional mistake. And again, it's going to look through everything, emails, interviews, everything, and allow me to paste that here as well. So I can say, okay, competencies here. Okay. I'm going to say resilience, and if that's what I say, the final pièce resistance is I need a paragraph on her experience, and again, take that from everything. So it's acting as my perfect memory. So I don't have to write any notes. I don't have to worry about doing 10 interviews, then trying to remember what everyone said. It looks after all of that easy or that low value stuff for me, so I can focus on making a really great interview experience and then actually writing a proper report. The piece that I'm going to shoot, and I guess, for those who want to give it a try, we are in very late alpha. It is really built for agency recruiters, so I've got to pick my lane here. And you can go to recruitwithat.com to be one of the first people to use it. I'll pop the link there. I have spelled it right.
No, brilliant stuff, Jordan, and thanks for coming on. I know you got to rush off, but great stuff. It looks like a fantastic tool for the agency side. You know what? When I was an agent, we were literally had none of this type of sophistication. It's a huge sort of productivity enhancer. Make sure you jump on it. Recruitwithatlas.com. Do check it out. Sign up for that beta, early alpha, as you say, and get onto it. Okay, Jordan, listen, I know you got to go. Thanks for hanging on for us, man.
Appreciate it. You take care.
Yeah,
Cool.
sorry you don't have questions, but don't have time for questions. But mine will be: is it a separate product? Like, is it integrated with any ATS? Do you know, Juan? So we need to check
Honestly,
it out.
I don't know, but I think basically it is sort of an ATS for on the recruiter side. So it probably fits in as a kind of a bullhorn competitor, I would say. So
it is an ATS itself. Got it.
Yeah, there's different mechanics. I mean, building ATS, obviously, you got multi-clients you got to think about. You got it's a very different type of product. There's a reason why there's a kind of a division of technologies there. Okay, well, let's bring on Mayur, Stan, and Matt. We're definitely going to bring him on. Mark, even keep calling him Matt. I don't know why. And also, there's loads of people we're going to bring on. Okay, we're going to bring on Mayur straight away.
How many people? How many demos do we have more? Hans?
I don't know.
How
we're
many
well
more?
over anyway. Well over time, so it's a bit crushed in. But let's see where we can. This is good fun though, folks. I hope you're getting value from all of these blast through demos. Make sure you follow up with them in any case afterwards. If you want a sort of a full-on one-to-one, you can do that and reach out to all of the founders. I'm sure they're happy to do it. We have Mayur here. Hey, how's it going, sir? Good to see you.
Hey.
Good to see you, and thanks for having me here.
No worries, man. Yeah. Listen, why don't you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you? What it is you do, and what the product is, man?
Sure, and I promise I'll keep it very short. I know we are already going overboard, but yeah. So hi everyone, my name is Mayur. I'm the founder of Round.One.ai, and we are tackling a very small portion, but very important portion of the entire recruitment food chain, which is the initial evaluations of the candidate with Round.One.ai. The goal here is to let AI do the initial in a form of an interview, completely hands-free. And then you take it forward from the second round onwards with the normal process. So whatever is your process. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Yeah, no worries. You're waiting for it. Yeah, it works.
Excellent. So again, thanks for having me and all the amazing products that we've already seen. Quite excited for the future of recruitment with AI because it's going to change so many things pretty soon. So I hope people get on board very quite early on. So here are all the stages that might be different in some cases where you initially start with defined requirements and then you attract candidates. You do initial screening. From this point onwards, from couple of hundred applications, you shortlist like 10, 15 of them, and then do the actual interview and take them forward through your the process of making hire or second, third round of interviews, right? We are tackling this one particular stage. The challenge is that every time you post a job, you would receive hundreds of applicants, and the existing ATS systems are basically trained to look into keywords to evaluate candidates. Try and find those right keywords, match them to the job description, and then rank the candidates. And there's nothing wrong with it, but what's happening lately with of course ChatGPT and all the other nice AI tools, which is accessible to everyone, is that all of a sudden, all of the CVs are now being written with the AI help. So the CV, which used to be the record of your experience, which has now become more of a creative writing exercise. So if you're really good at what you do, but if you don't write your CV creative enough, if you don't include all the right keywords, you might be lost in the ocean of those hundreds of applicants, which is a loss on the candidate side as well. But the companies who want to hire the right guys, they are also leaving a lot of good candidates on the table. So what we're doing with Round.One.ai is that we are trying to level the playing field. We want to give every candidate the right opportunity to showcase their skills in the very first round of the initial assessment. And just to mention, we are focused only on the tech roles right now, for at least for the foreseeable future, because that's where our core competencies lie. So any tech role, you can start using it right now. And I want to give a very quick demo because it's tackling very small portion of the chain. We don't have a lot going on. It's quite minimal experience with high efficiency. So as a user, as a hiring manager, you can start using it right now from Round.One.ai, and you can start typing the role that you are hiring for. What I've done is to save us some time of creating an account. I've already logged into my account, and I would like to post a job. and see how the AI is working in this scene. And then we'll go and do the candidate experience. So then I'll apply as a candidate and I'll do the interview with the AI. And then we'll come back to the dashboard to see the results of that interview. And hopefully that should be pretty quick. Just a quick overview of this dashboard. You can start posting a job. You can see all the necessary statistics, how many jobs you posted, how many applications you've received. Here is a quick summary of all the jobs recently posted, how many people have applied to it, and some top candidates from all the jobs that you have posted. So we are not a job site. We don't do sourcing for you. You still do the sourcing the way you do. But once you do the sourcing, we will evaluate all the candidates for you. Right.
All right. So Mayur, this is evaluation of candidate on application received. And then the main value is doing interviews, isn't it?
That is exactly right. Yes.
Okay.
Right. Because if you purely rely on the CV or the ATS, you might leave a lot of candidates on table. I personally believe CVs are going to be less relevant going forward. I have experienced that. I'm not a very good writer of CVs, so I've had problems with that. So yeah, we don't even look into the CV. We don't need your CV. I'll take you through the process of posting a job. That is the first step. Right? Okay. Any preference so that you guys can relate to the skills that it produces, right? So I'll try and post a job for a senior technology recruiter, for example. Again, it's focused heavily on the technology side, technology roles, but tech recruiters should be fine because we've trained the models on the technology skills, but we have included some other roles, for example, recruitment and project management type skills. The very first step is you're posting a job, and the AI would then, let me make some room here. So the AI suggest the top 5 skills you need for this role, okay, along with the proficiency levels, okay. So if I did not put in senior, it may have suggested this to be a beginner or specialist. But as a hiring manager, this is just a suggestion, so you can always fine-tune what level of expertise you need for each of these roles. If you don't like any of the roles...
I like that. I think that's really cool.
To be able to
it's all about, manipulate the level that you need, because sometimes that's totally not clear on a job description. How much sourcing there is like you need some, but do you need like a super sourcer? No, often you don't. You need someone who knows the basics. Okay, great. You can actually see it here, configure it, and then presumably the interview questions will be pitched at that level. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is why this is very important. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that, but can you give the definition to the system, like who is the beginner, who is a specialist, and who is the senior, so that they know like this is like years of experience or...
No, so it does that evaluation on its own between the rating from 1 to 5, basically. So if you say someone is at the beginner level, the questions that those are asked would be at the beginner level, but you're not able to define what is beginner. It's all about taking a lot of chunk from the recruiters' daily mundane tasks and just empowering them with a lot of automations with it. So if you had to play with a lot of buttons, So if you don't like any of these skills, you can always delete them, you can edit them, or if you want, you can add new skills, right? These are just the top 5 suggested by the AI, but you can always fine-tune this. The next step is that it will create a very basic job description for you using these skills and the efficiency level. Right, so it has some responsibilities and some required skills, but obviously you want to do much more. So you can edit this job description and you can add your company information, the benefits, salary, or anything else. You can do some fine-tuning.
We're going to have to move you on this. We can't we can't look at every feature. So let's get to the interview if we can.
Absolutely, sure. So I'll go ahead and post a job. And as soon as I post a job, it will give me the link, the URL of the job. So now I'll go ahead and open that in another browser, the job post, and then I'll apply as a candidate.
Okay,
The application
cool. This is
is
a
very
live demo,
simple.
folks.
Yeah. The very simple application, just a couple of fields. So I'll just add another R and call myself a candidate, and some random phone number. I don't even have to upload my CV because that's not used in the process. I'll submit the application, and then it will give me two options, whether I can start my evaluation right now or I can do it later. In that case, I'll get an email to start my evaluation later. Let me just do it now, and I'll answer a couple of questions. So here is the interview stage. I'll start my evaluation for this role. And it gives me two options. The first one is disable the video-based interview. It's coming very soon. Right now, the text-based interviews are available. I'll start the interview. This is the core product that we have. This is the interview stage. And the Round.One bot will then dynamically come up with all the questions for all the skills that we want to evaluate all the candidates. And as a candidate, I can answer questions here. But if I don't want to answer any particular question, I can skip the question. If I answer, then it will evaluate my answer in real time and then ask me the next question. So it will basically ask me 3 to 5 questions for each of these skills and then rate them in real time and then keep on asking me next questions. Right? So I'm not going to continue the evaluation here, but yeah, it's a pure chat-based experience right now, and video and audio is coming pretty soon. So I'll skip a couple of questions and then I'll exit the interview here. Okay, so I'll exit the interview, and then, but if you want to see some questions, for example, for interviewing, it's asking me, describe a time when you had to conduct an interview for a challenging technical role. How did you prepare for it, right? So very human-like questions created dynamically. You don't have to feed in any questions or anything. At this stage, I'll exit the interview. And I had a similar
This is the
role.
closest to... sorry, this is the closest to automating the CV. So you don't see the chat, but the chat is booming. So and it's talking about get rid of CVs, and that assessments are really great. And this is probably the closest when they saw that something can replace CVs. So that's a good sign.
Yeah. There are some quite strong opinions about that, about replacing CVs. But I'm all up for it. So what I'll do here is I had a very similar role posted, a technical recruitment manager, and we had over 150 applicants. So I'll go to that, and we'll see how you can see the evaluation of all the candidates, right? On the right-hand side, you can see all of the candidates, and rating out of 5 has been assigned to each of these candidates. If I click on any one of them, so the top is number 4. Sorry, it has the rating out of 4. I can see the CV of the candidate. I can see all of this rating of individual skills. And if I go to interview transcript, I can actually see these are all the 5 skills. And when I click on any skill, I can see the exact question and answer during the interview and what was the rating, how much time it took them to answer this question. This basically gives you the top list of candidates, not just based on their CV, but based on pure skill that were assessed with an AI interviewer. And this basically gives everyone the equal opportunity and gives hiring manager a way to find the top guys and then take them through your second round of interview, or then send it to your client if you're an agency. A lot of the clients who are using this, they have started sending the interview transcript along with the CV. So we are coming up with a new button here where you'll be able to securely send the interview transcript to your client along with the CV. So this would clearly change how you hire people, how you initially evaluate And because this is the top of the funnel, it will have impact in the entire life cycle of hiring. You can start using it right away.
We gotta put it stop to it there, Mayur. Really interesting, man. How do people test this product? Oh, he's disappeared. I don't think you meant to do that. I think Mayur, you meant to just unshare screen, but I think you exited out. No worries. If you're on the chat, just share the link in the chat stream, because basically that's going to be very interesting. Or I see one of your colleagues is saying you're offering 2 free jobs being posted. So go to Round.One.AI if you want to go and test this tool. 2 free jobs, why not? Sorry, the screen is going to be strange. The sun has actually come through and I can't reach the cursor.
I want to translate what is going on. Like you're like shining
and
an
alternative reality. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're going to keep rolling forward, folks. We've got still more, so more to come. Stan, thanks for waiting. Mark or Matt, and we're going to get you fairly soon. Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry about this. We're going to get to everybody, and we're also going to get to you. I know that you're waiting along. So, okay, we're going to go to Stan next. 2 more users need to come on stage. Yes, Stan is the next one.
Good. Mayur, I really recommend you to look in the comments. So some of the comments were about possibility of the candidates to give feedback or like ask something, because if you give them a lot of assessments but there's no chance to communicate back anything or pause or upload something that is new. So please check this out. Hi, Stanislav.
Hey, how's it going? Great to be here.
Stan, how you doing, man? Good to see you. We're really busy. We're blasting through this. Thanks for being patient. I know that you were meant to get you on like half an hour ago, but these demos have been so cool, and it's difficult to cut them short. For the people who don't know you, Stan, who are you? What it is you do? Let's hear it.
I'm one of the co-founders of ScottyAI. We have a long-term vision where we see technology replacing all human labor, which we think is a really good thing. I can go into that, but I won't do that now because it will take some time. In the meantime, we're helping large enterprises and technology companies deploy multi-agent systems that can speak with humans, but also speak between those systems. And in order to do that, we've developed a cognitive process automation platform that you can use components of to automate white-collar labor.
Yeah, amazing. And you're already out there in the wild. There's some great case studies out there. So I'd love to see. Is there anything you can show us, man? I'd love to see it.
Well, instead of me showing you anything, if I'm not mistaken, you've already received a message from one of our AI agents.
Let me just check.
And if you have
what is this on? Oh, it's on WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp. Yeah, exactly. And if you have
if
you have a short conversation, we can actually show. Although we do envision at some point all human labor being replaced, human connections still make sense sometimes, and to make them faster can be really worthwhile. So I'm hoping you can demonstrate that to everyone right now.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? I'm going to say okay to this, and should I chat to it on call or something, or what?
Yeah, just have it call you, put it on speaker.
Okay, and then call. Okay, so just whether you can see that or not, I don't know. I mean, basically, probably not. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
something's happening. Hello.
Hello, hon. I'm Scotty, a virtual assistant. Don't worry, you can talk to me as normally as you do with a human. I'm following up on your application for the CE driver position. Before we start the screening process, you can ask me anything you want to know about the job or the employer. Do you have any questions about the job right now?
No, I'm ready to go and get interviewed for it.
Okay, you can ask me what you want to know about the position you applied for.
Sure. Is it a full-time job?
Yes, this is a full-time position with regular working hours of 30+ hours per week. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, I think I'm good.
The pay.
Do for anything.
Let's start. This job requests ability to perform simple mathematical calculations. Were you able to do that?
Yeah, I can't, but go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's required ability to perform math calculations for this position. I'll inform you in case you seem like a suitable candidate for a new position that may arise in the future.
I was vetoed. I was vetoed immediately.
It heard you saying no. That's a shame.
It heard me say no. It heard me say no.
So we have a Cybertruck moment.
Don't worry, getting blasted out was correct because basically that was an accurate screening away. Because the truth is, I'm not particularly competent in arithmetic. So hence, yeah, it heard me over the top, right? So at least we know that's the thing. It can pick up sort of what you're saying. So very, very interesting. So Stan, obviously we're getting to the point where we're outbounding to candidates. That's something that is going to happen. I didn't think this would be the case, but even though there was obviously things will get better here. So we're going to get to a point where I do believe this part of the recruitment process probably will go for the first contact. Do you have any confidence that's the case? Do you have any examples already in your business that can say that's the case?
Yeah, I think one of the main examples that we have is Dutch Post. I think right now worldwide is the most advanced deployment of a multi-agent system. They have integrated AI agents with different AI models across their SAP instance, across Microsoft Teams, across the telecommunication infrastructure, so all of their phone telcos as well as WhatsApp. And they're hiring several thousand people annually without much human interaction in the middle, at far greater speed and far greater candidate experience. What I wanted to show is how we can live call transfer. We had our head of platform on the other side. You went to the happy flow, and Scotty would have understood that you can actually answer mathematical questions and do some other stuff. Then we can live call transfer, bridge phone calls. We can bridge WhatsApp communication between a phone call, Microsoft Teams, between WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams. So the human in the loop part also really plays a part.
Oh, so we missed the human in the loop. So basically, had I negotiated the basic level of screening, we would have been able to switch to a human being. That would have been cool to do, man. But I think we get it. It makes sense that the human doesn't disappear from the process, folks. We know this. We're just trying to understand where the real conversation needs to happen. And it isn't in what we call the knockout questions. I mean, all of us have questions when we screen a candidate that we knock them out. So we're getting a machine to do that. You don't need a human being. They're not for negotiation. Where do people find out more about ScottyAI, Stan?
ScottyTechnologies.com, or they can reach out on LinkedIn and connect.
Yeah, Stan, by the way, is worth following on LinkedIn for multiple reasons. But follow him in any case. If you want to follow up on this particular demo, I think it's worth us checking out. Okay, Stan, sorry that I fucked up the interview, man.
No worries.
But we'll find another way to do it. Great to see you. We'll catch up soon, okay?
All right, bye. Catch you later.
Thank you, Stan. Yeah. Some people said that the questions were quite good. And I think I forgot to do something that is very important. So a lot of people, I think, already going back. Please do share your LinkedIn to connect. Let's do network.
Oh, yeah. Crap. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Listen to Ala. Grab your LinkedIn URL, share it in the chat stream, and then connect with everyone who's going to do that. Reason why, and by the way, if you're watching this in any of the LinkedIn lives, which, by the way, we have a 2-hour limit on, so we're about to hit that. We're going to get kicked off. Grab your URL, share it in the comment thread in the LinkedIn Live, and then connect with everyone who's done the same. A reason why you want to do that is because you want to walk away from this with at least 20, 30, 40 connections that are going to continue the conversation with us here. Okay, listen, we're going to carry on. Anna, I hope you're still with us. Mark, I hope you're still with us. If you are, we're going to bring you on. We're going to finish this off. Okay, we've got Anne Muscarella here. Is she there? She is.
Hey.
Hello. It's good to see everyone.
How are you doing, Anne? Sorry for waiting. Sorry to keep you waiting. This has gone way too long. But we had to try and squeeze people in. So, Anne, why don't you quickly introduce yourself? Who are you? What it is you do?
Sure. So I'm at Braintrust. My name's Anna Mascarella. I'm the chief of staff at Braintrust. Braintrust is a talent marketplace that helps companies like Nestle, Nike, Airbnb, Google, and many more hire top technical talent. In the last year, we've launched AI capabilities called Braintrust Air, which, like many of these technologies that you've shared here today, wants to do the work for you, right? Like not just be a co-pilot, but be the pilot and take some of that labor intensive, monotonous work out of the hiring process. So Braintrust Air not only crafts the JD based on real-time market data, it ranks and sorts the top candidates, and then it conducts the first round interview for you. So I could do lots of things, take you through the platform, but I think what everyone wants to see is that real interview. So Hung, what I'd like to do is share a link with you so you can hop into the demo and have you demo Air. I did a tech check with Hung the other day and he was like, I don't want to see it before it's live. I want to do it live. I said, great, let's do it. So I'm going to drop a link into the chat, I guess. And Hung, if you just click that link and then share your screen and share your audio, then you can jump in and you'll be interviewing for a designer role at Brainfood Live.
All right, wicked. Let me try this. So I'm gonna, let's have a look. Should I allow to use camera? I allow everything, right?
Allow everything and share your screen and share your audio so that we all can benefit from watching you interview.
Okay, let me do this. Share screen. It should be entire screen.
Maybe you finally get the job. Everybody's worried for Han to have so many interviews.
There we go. Okay, so I'm here. Can everyone see my screen? I'm sorry for the glare, but there should be some sort of thing going on here. I know I'm like segued into an alternative dimension here. But yeah, I'm on Braintrust site, and it looks like I'm screen sharing. Can everyone see it? See us okay?
We can see you.
Right, cool. A start interview, I see, yeah?
Yes, start interview.
Let's do it.
We're not hearing your audio. I don't know if you could share your audio.
Oh, I tell you why. It's because I'm using AirPods. Let me just get rid of these. I'm going to go here. Sure, let's have a look. I'm in the middle of a professional interview. Let's continue. Yeah, sure. I basically am a recruiter. Wow, adding pressure here. I'm ready to go. Thank you very much. We're ready.
We're also still not hearing your audio, unfortunately.
Look at the three dots when the sound is. So there's a FaceTime HD button, and there's probably the sound button. There's three dots in front of the sound. Yes, maybe you can.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
AirPods. Yeah. So
away.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's see if we can fix it.
Oh.
Okay, I've actually failed again.
Yeah. Do you want to click it again and start over?
Yeah.
Should we start interview again? Is that okay?
Yes.
The thing is, that's the microphone. So basically, this should just go on the Yeti. That should work. So can you guys hear me still? Yeah.
Yes. We just want to hear the interviewer.
Let's do this.
No.
Yes. I don't think you can hear me. Okay, let's try this. Yes, we can go with the interview. Oh, can't hear me.
Technical difficulties. Well, given I know everybody's short on time, and so I don't want to drag it out, but I'm going to drop here a link to Braintrust's site where there's a demo available there, so you all can check it out on your own time. But Braintrust Air is designed to conduct the first round interview for you. So it will ask questions that are specific to the candidate's skills and what the job description requires. It's interesting because a lot of talent will, their gut reaction is, I don't want to talk to a robot. I've even seen that in the chat here. But what you find is that it's actually less distracting because the AI interviewer is solely focused on you, and they're asking you questions that pertain to your background and skills. They're not being distracted by the dog barking. They're not being distracted by kids entering the room. And they're not making small talk like, where do you live and whatever. They're really diving deep and getting into the interview. I had someone do the demo the other day and they said, this was the best interview I've ever had. And I hate that that's true. But it is true. Humans, we are flawed. The first round phone screen is notoriously useless. And what Braintrust is trying to do is make it more useful, and remove the labor intensive work from our frontline recruiters so they can do tasks that are more accretive to their brand, closing that final round candidate. I was also talking with someone in talent acquisition yesterday, and he said, listen, my recruiters are so slammed, like the rubber balls keep bouncing up. And so they're dropping the glass balls, right? They're dropping the candidate at the final yard line. And what Braintrust Air enables you to do is to really lift your head up, right? Take that labor intensive, monotonous work out of HR and talent acquisition and allow you to focus on the things that humans can uniquely do.
Yeah, that's really great. And I think the reason why I live on demo is simply because I was broadcasting at the same time, and it was like, obviously that's not what you do when you're going through an interview. But yeah, really interesting to have that dialogue. Particularly, you can see the transcript, and you can also hear the voice. I actually prefer there's no need to see a video. It was great to read the questions. So I think this could be very, very interesting. Thanks for sharing the link into the demo there. And I'm sure we're going to keep an eye a lot on where you're going with Braintrust. And it's going to be an interesting one to keep following on with. So Anne, listen, I know you got to shoot as well. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, hopefully, and we'll take we'll pick it up from there. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks,
the individual user. Yeah, the individual users can use it, right? Sorry, there was a delay, so I didn't want to interrupt. So not only companies, so I, as a recruiter, can also try it out.
Yes, recruiters are loving it. It's saving them a ton of time. You can go onto the site, you can post a job for free, you can start using it. It's really remarkable time savings.
All right, no brainer, folks. Get on it. We will share a link to all of these wonderful demos in a follow-up email, but make sure you go ahead and check it out right now. It's called, Use Braintrust. I think pretty easy to know. So cool. All right, Anne, listen, we'll chat to you soon, okay?
See you later.
Oh, we got one more. We've got a very patient Mark here. I hope he's still with us. He's got busy things. He's got things to do. I'm not sure if he's still here. I wouldn't blame him if he's got his weekend started. I think he has got his weekend started. He's had to jump off.
No, so it's been, so everybody is so excited with the show. So the comments are amazing. I think we had such a great conversation in the comments about everything and the tools. I don't know, but it was one of the most useful shows when you can really see so you see the founders a little bit sweating and showing things like, this is amazing. So I think it's great. Hi, Mark.
And here's one founder that never sweats because he's the coolest man in recruitment tech. Look at the state of him. Where are you? Look where you, Mount. He's like out on a balcony somewhere, clearly just enjoying a cocktail.
I'm actually
somewhere.
Not. It's a great reflection from our London office, but I'm in our London office today. And guys, this show has been phenomenal. I've absolutely loved it. So great work, you guys.
No, it's interesting to see all of this innovation, and you're one of the innovators, Mark. So one thing I'm getting from all of this is that the founders are just so enthusiastic about building tech again, and we're making substantive changes into how we are affecting recruiters' lives, which is going to be very, very positive. So without further ado, Mark, quickly, who are you? What it is you do? And then let's dive into this thing.
Yeah, awesome. So my name's Mark. I'm the co-founder and CEO at hackajob. We've been doing hackajob for 10 years now, which is absolutely wild. But at Breakfast UK this year, we launched hackajob Intelligence, which is our new end-to-end sourcing platform for tech workers. So yeah, we can get into it. We can bring to life what we think is possible. And I think you just hit the nail on the head, Hung. I think what's happened with large language models is just energized everyone. Like, it's just so fun to be playing around with technology, doing things that just was not technically feasible before. So everything today we're going to see is a real life demo. So yeah, excited to get into it and yeah, bring to life what we have built with hackajob Intelligence. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So maybe just before we jump into the actual demo, maybe just explaining a few things, setting some context. We've seen a couple of different sourcing platforms today. Something I want to highlight is all of the candidates that you get through hackajob Intelligence are first-party candidates. What do I mean by this? They have signed up and created an account on hackajob. So we're not out there scraping data. We're not out there using other people's data. Instead, all of this data is our own. And that's really what's enabled us to build hackajob Intelligence, because we've been able to fine-tune our own language models on our own data set. So we're not just using off-the-shelf models. Instead, we can do far richer and far more interesting things. And as I touched on, hackajob Intelligence is there to enable organizations to source and discover technical talent in completely new ways. I think our philosophy is definitely human plus machine leads to a better outcome. So we don't believe in trying to replace recruiters with AI. Instead, we think recruiters leveraging AI as a tool is a really powerful way to do it. And there's kind of three kind of innovations, three new things with hackajob Intelligence that simply was not possible before. I think the first thing is actually the requirement gathering. And I think something that makes in-house recruiters, or something that differentiates the best in-house recruiters, is that internal stakeholder management, being really consultative with hiring managers. And yet, given kind of how we've had to source talent previously online, we've started with online recruitment with crazy abstract boolean strings, and now most people use LinkedIn Recruiter that has very strict filters. Instead, with hackajob Intelligence, you can simply just describe your ideal candidate. So let's say I'm looking for a Java engineer with microservices experience, using APIs and CI/CD in Terso UK. And let's see, it's a Friday afternoon. Can I spell? So you can just start with a prompt. Like, you can literally just describe your ideal candidate, and then you're going to get given two options. You can go and refine your search, add stuff like salary, visa, location, or you can just get straight into it and see candidates straight away. Now, hackajob Intelligence is going to surface really relevant candidates to you based on your prompt. And again, all of these candidates have been signed up to hackajob and have a hackajob profile, which means you get a 90% response rate to people you reach out to in 48 hours. And so, you know, you could come in here and start looking at profiles, and the platform will be able to highlight exactly where this candidate has the experience. And this kind of brings us to the second piece with hackajob Intelligence, which is our knowledge graph. And so in the past, sourcing platforms have just used keywords, right? We've been able to put out a keyword and say, hey, this candidate's got Java experience because they mention it on their profile. Our knowledge graph instead can actually read a candidate's CV and then play back to the recruiter why they're relevant and explain to the recruiter why they're relevant. So in this instance, we didn't even mention Spring Boot as a requirement, but Spring Boot is a Java framework that you use to write microservices applications, and hackajob Intelligence is able to surface that to you. And it can go further. It's not just technical skills. So let's say we look for a few profiles and we go, actually, that's not right. Do you know what? My hiring manager says they need to have leadership experience. I can come in here, update my prompts, jump in, and then it's going to show me updated candidates. The ranking of the candidates will change based on leadership experience. And again, it's not going to just rely on keyword matching. It can see here that this candidate's been a tech lead, and it's actually been able to pull out that they've mentored junior team members, and that is obviously related to leadership experience. So the candidate hasn't specifically mentioned leadership. Instead, it's talked about mentoring junior team members. And that kind of leads us to the final thing around why we believe hackajob intelligence is going to be kind of a really powerful sourcing assistant to tech recruiters is the explainability. And I think that's the final real innovation with large language models. It is not just about actually being able to surface more relevant talent than before. Actually, it's going to be able to explain back to it. And you may disagree with hackajob intelligence. You may turn around and say, do you know what, this candidate isn't relevant based on what we're looking for. But that's fine. You can refine your requirements over time. The platform's going to make better and better recommendations. If you're not a super technical recruiter, maybe you don't know what you're looking for, you can just drop a job description into hackajob intelligence and it will automatically create a prompt for you. So in this instance, we're looking for an AWS developer. That's hilarious. There's a fire alarm test in the office right now. But you can then just start from a job description and it will take you through that journey here as well. So yeah, really, really excited to see companies actually using hackajob intelligence already. We've onboarded 200 customers in the last 3 weeks. We're offering all new customers a completely free trial of hackajob intelligence too. So yeah, really, really exciting to see that platform.
Yeah, very, very interesting, Mark. Thanks for the. By the way, if you need to flee the building, do
hilarious. It's just a test. It's just a test. Obviously, nobody's in the office at 4 p.m. on a Friday, right?
Aren't tests usually 11 o'clock or something? So if you need to get out of there, get out of there, mate. But listen, I'm really, the two distinguishing features here. Number one, it's like the proprietary data, the candidates are not scraped. They're actually within the platform itself. I don't know how many you've got in there. Like, are you able to say how many candidates are signed to hackajob
we're about 900,000 members now on hackajob across the UK, US, and India.
So that's massive, mate. So you've got essentially you're going to be able to recruit more or less everyone you need, I would imagine, within that population. And the fact that, it changes sourcing, doesn't it, Ala? We're no longer thinking Boolean. I can see the brains having to be rewired because we're no longer needing to think about how to interrogate the machine. We can just literally talk into the machine and say, look, I want a Java developer in London that's available next 3 months. What do you reckon? And then boom.
China does it a long time ago. So, when I started the sourcing on China 3 years ago, so I met exactly this type of businesses, the community or the platform, and you source on the platform. So that was the sourcing actually, and high percentage of response rate.
Yeah, it really, sources looking at this, I know we're coming to the end of the day, but let me know in the comments, what do you think this means for how you're going to go forward? Obviously, not everyone's on hackajob, you're going to use different things, but you can imagine in future, most of the times you're interfacing with anything that has a database in the back of it, you're going to be talking to it in natural language. I think that's a huge game changer in terms of what sourcing is. You're going to have to get good at prompting, I guess, or understanding per per platform. There'll be individual nuances in the same way with search engines now. There's individual nuances as to how you search on Bing. It's different from how you do it on Google, for instance, different how you do it on LinkedIn, obviously. So you have to do all of these different things. Yeah, very, very interesting. So Mark, what do you anticipate happening in terms of, how this will change the recruitment industry? Do you see how the distribution of time is going to change from how recruiters spend their time?
Yeah, I think two things that could be super interesting. You might see that you don't need specialist recruiters anymore, and you go to a much more generalist recruiter model because you've got platforms that all have a far better understanding of all of the different relationships between technical skills. And if you think about the recruitment industry over the last 4 years, we've had these boom and bust cycles, right? Load of recruiters get hired, load of recruiters get laid off, get hired, get laid off. If you can have a more generalist team, you can probably flex to more demands inside an organization. So, okay, maybe tech hiring's down, but sales hiring is up, for instance. So I think one aspect might be more generalist recruiters. And then secondly, I think you might end up just having smaller recruitment teams because so much of the workflows can get automated. But I think the thing that you can't automate is the human-to-human experience, whether that be delivering a phenomenal candidate experience or a phenomenal hiring manager experience. I think that's really where the recruiters are going to shine kind of in this next era of recruitment.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating how we play this. And you know what, recruiters need to embrace sort of what we're looking at here. We can't be sort of wedded the things that we enjoyed doing before in the past. Let's not forget, with every change of the internet, there has been situations where previous recruiting skills have had to evolve. People who were recruiting before the internet existed, they were brilliant phone sources. They were brilliant at, even field sales. But now, we had this 10, 20-year period where loads of people were diving in, doing sourcing and what we used to know as sourcing. I think we're on the edge of another huge change again. Digital sort of skills are going to change, and digital sort of recruiter skills are also going to change as well. Okay, Mark, how do people check this out? I mean, can we use it? You need to pay, obviously. So what is the situation currently with hackajob?
So we're running completely free trials, literally no commitment whatsoever. We just want people in there and using it. Give you an example, Acovia kicked off their trial yesterday. They sent out 127 interview requests on day one. They had 5 screening calls today, and they've already got 19 interviews booked in for next week. So if you want some of that magic, just head to hackajob.com, fill out a demo form. We can get you set up on the trial next week. 30-day trial. Use it as much as you want. Make as many hires as you want. And if you like it, you can pay for it after 30 days.
That is actually an incredible offer, everybody. 30 days free usage of hackajob intelligence, basically a free sourcing tool on 900,000 tech candidates. What are you doing? Get signing up. Okay, Mark, listen, thanks for hanging on. Great to see you, man. Hopefully we'll catch up soon. Yeah, we'll catch up soon. I'm gonna be in town for a while. So yeah, that's great. Thanks for showing us the tool, man.
You guys are legends. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, folks, we are literally breaking records here because we're into the 2-hour mark and we have to get off air. I think we're already being kicked off LinkedIn anyway. But thanks everyone for watching. It's been a real pleasure having a chat with everyone and seeing all of these wonderful products. I'll be sending an email to everyone after this with all of the links. So go and check a lot of these out. There's free usage in a lot of these technologies. Well worth you trying. Yeah, we'll be back next week as we always are. So next week we're going to be talking to Aaron Lintz, actually, another one where we're talking about AI. How do you actually build a web scraper using Python, even if you're not a sort of a coder? This is a wonderful story from one of the real heroes in the recruiting industry. But he built a tool that really helped him generate job opportunities, which he then actually got a job from. So I think useful to directly follow that example, but potentially, obviously, you can use that sort of technique for sourcing as well. So make sure you sign up for that. It's all set up. We'll see you there next week. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hanley, for organizing it. So, no, thank you. Really, really, I think you did really amazing. And you set up the new standards in a way, like, how it should be done. I enjoyed it.
Well, listen, I thought it was a really good show. Really enjoyed all of the experience. Great demos. And yeah, I mean, we didn't get much time to chat, you and I, but I think it was just literally watching all of this flow through. How do you feel now as a recruiter, actually seeing all of the tech? Like, what's your general sense as to where we're going to go as a recruiting function?
As you mentioned, it's a very promising, bright future. But to be honest, I'm leaving the show with the feeling that I need to learn to keep up, to analyze the tool, to know how to use the tool, how to speak to the tool. And also, like, every new thing that comes into my toolbox, I need to really kind of tackle from the technical side, like privacy, data, candidate experience, how we can integrate with other tools as well. So on one side, I'm very excited to see how many things are going to be automated, and I think this is a really part that recruiters are taking. But it actually gives me a lot of proof that I have to constantly learn. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to press a few buttons, it's going to do for me things. So I actually have to do even more as a human. So that's what I'm taking out of this.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to do the same. I've got to implement some of this tech myself. I'd love to get some AI sort of outbound on the subscriber base, let's say. I mean, would you want to hear a voice call from Robo Hung? Would that actually work? Who knows? But I need to experiment with it, because basically that will demonstrate sort of what we've got to do. So yeah, I think we have to be encouraged going forward. But the changes here, we've got to roll on. Anyway, listen, I've kept you too long. What are you going to do for the rest of the weekend? Anything exciting, Ala?
Weekends. Yeah, I thought about, I'm gonna actually just go on the seaside. It's 30 plus. We should enjoy the last days of summer in the Netherlands before we go for our usual dark side. So good.
I think so. I think it's the same. We've got a really hot weekend here, but I do feel it'll be the last big weekend before it starts raining and become cloudy, and then like that, it'll be winter. So, all right, Ala, listen, enjoy your weekend. Great to see you, and we'll keep in touch, obviously. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Han, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for the nice chat in the comments.
Okay, that's it, everyone.